Today, I'll be forming these tongs. You can see the work that I've done on one already here and how it's extended out. Right? I'll be rounding the edges, scoring off this edge here, right? And creating more of a round stock. And it's naturally going to get longer as well, especially as I round everything down, because this, you can see the shape here to here is different. So I'm pinching it down, elongating it out, and then rounding it out. I'll keep this side here a bit square. I'll knock the edge off just a little bit. And you can see how glowing red hot it is. It's really good. I'm blown away at how well it heats this up. These are the tong handles that I have formed on both, it's not a pair, together they're a pair, on each individual side. And they're, for the most part, the same length. Let me get them paired up here. Whoop. All right, you can see it's about 1/8 of an inch difference there. Nothing big, nothing too worried about. So I'm gonna let this end cool down, because I'll then put this end in the fire and I'll start forging these. One thing I wanna do, and I gotta figure out how I necessarily wanna do it. I might drill the holes first, I might drill the holes later. Regardless though, I have to twist these 90 degrees. So I think what I'm going to do is form the shape of this so that it has a slight taper to the tip. And after I form the taper, I will then do the twisting of it. The twist will happen right about here. After I do the twist is when I will go ahead and take the corners down and butt them up together so that I can twist the handle correctly. I might just twist the handle later on once I have a rivet in. I think that'll be exactly what I do. Quick review on the anvil. I've got some slag sitting here, right? I keep building stuff up. I'm trying to keep the surface clean as I go, and you can see where I primarily work right here. I have the tong sitting this way as I strike, and it's working really good. The wood collects stuff. There's stuff on the floor. All in all, this thing does not move. Woo, it's hot too. This does not move when I'm striking. It moves when I shake it, but quite honestly, as I'm sitting here hitting, I don't recognize any movement in here. Now, as I play with it, I see that there's a little bit of movement, and it could be that there is, and I just haven't noticed it because my skill level is not up there yet. But I'm happy with this stand. This is working really well. So these are the tongs that'll be using. There we go. They'll fit together like this. I'll turn this 90 degrees that way and this 90 degrees that way, and that way they'll fit like this, and they will open and close this way but rotate on this pivot point. So I'll drill a hole here, and then I'll push one of these rivets through and get it into place once it is. So I know I need to drill this hole just slightly larger than what this rivet actually is, and this sits at 5.8 millimeters. 5.85 millimeters. So 5.5 millimeters is going to be shy. And so 5.8, we'll go ahead and waller it out to a 6 millimeter set. So we'll get a 6 millimeter hole drilled, we'll heat her up, we'll slam this through, and we'll have it through the bottom side here, and through both tongs, and we'll then come through and probably mushroom the top, and then get it nice and tight so that this is all good. And I was seeing a video, as it cools down, you want to work it so that it keeps nice and loose. But now I know I need to use the 6 millimeter drill bit here. So I was making this set, right, with these 3 hammers. And what I found was, through these 2 hammers, I favored this one because I didn't have to have a strike that was true to the surface of the anvil. Whereas this one, the surface is incredibly flat, and so I had to be spot on, and I could tell if I was not spot on, I would leave a dent to the side, which wasn't too bad because I was really trying to move a lot of metals. These were heavy. I didn't really thoroughly enjoy them. So what I ended up doing was, when I got to the point to where I was actually rounding these edges, I can actually see now that they've cooled down. I took a lot more time rounding this one than I did this one. And if I look at the size difference, honestly, there is no difference. So I think I need to go back in and take some more time and round this one over. I see there's a section right here that's actually pretty squared off here again. But this came out really well. This is rounded really, really, really good. And what I found was the ball peen was just happened to be the right weight for what I was comfortable with. And I sat down and I just went round. And it created that effect, and I really did enjoy that. Same thing with this. I think I'm going to actually have these forced out to a bit more of a point. So I'm going to elongate these. I thought I was going to be done with the handles today, and it turns out, now that I'm looking at it, I'm not satisfied with the quality of the handle. So the ball peen by far was the favorite hammer that I had. However, I wanted to use not just the ball peen, but I wanted to get used to using the cross peen. So if I feel the weight of the ball peen versus the next weight of the cross peen that I have down, right, this is my 1.5 kilo cross peen. This is a, hell, I don't know, something less, 500 gram. So this is my 0.5 kilogram cross peen. I think that I will be able to be more comfortable and precise with this strike and this strike, whereas if I just want whopping blows, I'll move up to these. I think tomorrow I will shape my handle a little bit better and have a bit more of a point using this. I feel that there's edges to this, quite hard edges, whereas this one doesn't have. This is an old hammer. I've had this for, I don't know, 20 years probably. I use it to work on cars and take suspension apart and whatnot, so it's been through a lot, but it's a really good hammer. There's been zero damage to it. You can just see that it's worn, that's all. Not worn out by any means. So I will use the cross peen to see if I can get used to the surface of the cross peen. I think that will help with the roll here. I'll tidy this one up. I'll have this one pointed out a little bit longer. I'm going to taper the end down to a finer point, I think. But I think I like the fact that this is it. Honestly, I was expecting it to be a bit longer than it is, and I see that there's a thickness here that is not here. So I may have to continue to forge here and thin this out to make up for that. Because if I thin this out, it's going to elongate, and if I don't touch this one, it'll not match. But this came out much better than expected today. I will work on this tomorrow. So that's my hammer review for today. Heavy, really good for moving a lot of metal quickly. Nearly as heavy, not quite. Uncomfortable for me to use without a perfect strike. And then the ball peen, which was very comfortable for me to use. I think over time I've just have been comfortable using this ball peen. It is a 24 ounce made in America Craftsman ball peen. Woohoo! And then some Amazon cheapo special. Subscribe, like, comment to help further grow the channel. If you like what you see, you like the projects that I'm taking care of, or any of the content that I'm posting, and you'd like to see more, I'm definitely not a professional, but I do a lot of things. And I enjoy my days, time in, time out. So follow.